What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today, you're talking sports with MG Johnson. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we have a 76ers video. Now, before we get into today's video, make sure you guys hit the like button if you enjoyed today's video. Hit the subscribe button if you are new to the channel, and turn on those post notification bells so you don't miss a video. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before we get into this video, I just want to say a few things real quick. Obviously, I haven't been doing videos as much because I've been doing a lot of live streams with March Madness with the 76ers. So obviously I haven't done a lot of videos, but videos are going to start cranking back up on the channel. A lot of NBA discussions on the videos and live streams. A lot of some baseball stuff coming, some NFL draft videos coming. So a lot of different sports and a lot of different videos will be featured on the channel. So just to give you guys a quick update of what will be going on. So here's one of the first videos that I will be dropping as we drop more videos here. And this is to talk about the 76ers here and our strengths and weaknesses. Now, obviously, you guys know me as a diehard 76ers fan. I commentate almost every single 76ers game this season, and I will continue to do so into the playoffs and for seasons and seasons for the near future. So, obviously, you guys know I call a lot of games, and I watch every single Sixers game, almost every single possession, almost every single play, and everything the 76ers do. So, a guy like me, I feel like I have a kind of like a right to be able to identify the big strengths, the big weaknesses, and even the little stuff. So I'm gonna give you guys some of my strengths and weaknesses for this team. You guys can leave your thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section, and I'll read every comment. So you guys definitely go comment down below what you think. But let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. So strengths and weaknesses. Now this Sixers team is a very, very talented team. Obviously led by Joel Embiid, James Harden coming over. Tyrese Maxey being a breakout player for us. Tobias Harris, he's been inconsistent, but when he's on, he could definitely be a plus for this team. George Niang has stepped up for a guy for us off the bench. So the Sixers team has definitely good talent. But it's time to break down some of the weaknesses first. And I want to start off with defensive rebounding. Now, Joel Embiid is one of the best centers in the league, but rebounding is definitely a problem for this team. Um, Joel Embiid sometimes could get caught on a pick and roll, where or a pick and pop where he has to step up and defend the shooter, which leads one of our guards down low to rebound, which gives a easy rebound for the opposing center. So teams attack that a lot. They know that our guards are not going to successfully box out or our other forwards in the team. So therefore, they pull Joel Embiid out to the three-point line or to defend a mid-range shot, which gives the big man that's standing underneath the rim to get an easy rebound, easy putback. Now, when Joel Embiid is defending the interior strictly, when he is there and playing great defense and getting good rebounds, that's not a problem. But when Joel Embiid is forced to come out and we need other guys to box out and help, I guess you can call it team rebounding. We don't have that on the defensive side, and that is definitely a big weakness that could hurt us going into a playoff run. Next, I want to talk about transition defense. Sometimes the Sixers can just simply be lazy getting back on defense in the transition. I know James Harden himself actually has talked about that, about getting back. And, you can definitely tell over the last few games the team has tried a little bit more, but sometimes it's just that extra effort, that the Sixers can give that we don't. You know, we have guys who are capable of coming back and playing good defense. Obviously, Matisse Thybulle is a great defender. When Joel Embiid's locked in defensively, he's one of the best in the league as well. Tobias Harris sometimes can be a decent defender, has definitely improved over his career, but sometimes on transition defense, we don't try to get back and we don't stop the transition or we don't give them difficult time getting the bucket. What we do on transition defense, we either just foul them, they get an and one, or we just go let them score. So just definitely the effort on transition defense can be something that we need to fix. Another defensive weakness we have is the pick and roll defense I just brought up a few minutes ago. How when Joel Embiid is forced to come out, which is hard for any big man, Rudy Gobert struggles with this as well. When you drag out a center to make him guard a jump shooter, it's just not going to work well. And it's either the jump shooter has a size advantage, he's going to, have his shot there and available, or he can take the big off the dribble. Or if you don't want that, well, you have your big man down low against a guard. And our pick and roll defense, man, or our pick and pop defense is just, it definitely has not been the best. And it sucks. It could get better. But it is what it is. The pick and roll, the pick and pop, anything with a screen involved with the Sixers, we are definitely capable of getting beat against that. Now let's go to a few offensive weaknesses. Now, like I said, we have a lot of talent on this team, but we definitely lack consistently knocking down our open 3-point shots. Now, I want to give a shout out to George Niang because especially when James Harden was just came on the team, he's hit some key threes for us, getting a lot of open looks. And that's actually gonna bring up one of my strengths later. So George Niang is probably the only guy who consistently knocks down open shots. Danny Green's pretty inconsistent with that. Obviously, Matisse Thybulle isn't the best shooter. You can have nights where Matisse Thybulle actually has a decent night. He has like 13 points, and everyone's happy about it. Or you can have nights where Matisse Thybulle has 0 points and 4 fouls, and a lot of that is because when you leave him wide open and he's not hitting his open shots, that's a problem. Obviously, like I said, Danny Green's getting older and consistent from the three now, which we kind of brought Danny Green over here to be a 3-and-D guy, but it just has not been working out. Cork Maz, his playing time has just gone down. And even when he was playing, every time we give him an open look, I feel like he either misses the shot, just straight up misses it, or he does something where he catches it when he has some space to shoot it, but instead he tries to dribble and drive and then make some spectacular pass. When Korkmaz isn't the best passer or is the best ball handler, I like Korkmaz better when he can just catch and just shoot it. Kind of a quick trigger. Every time Korkmaz just catches and shoots it and makes it, I always say in my head, man, if he can just have that quick trigger every time and just know when to pull it, he can be a great rotational player for our team. But he doesn't do that consistently, and that's why those players I just named are why knocking down open 3-point shots is a weakness for us because we're just inconsistent at that. And we cannot be inconsistent at that because when we have players like Embiid and Harden who are great isolation scorers, who are just great scorers in general, they're going to face double teams. They're going to face different defensive attention every night. So you need to be able to knock down those open shots in order to make the defense easier for your stars to operate. So those are just some of the weaknesses here. Let's go over another one. Doc Rivers. Now, Doc Rivers, in his time in Philly, last year was a great regular season coach. Got Tobias Harris to I wouldn't say an all-star level last season, but definitely a great starting caliber player. He got Joel Embiid to his best we've seen last year and again this year. Um, we got the best out of Seth Curry when Doc Rivers has been a coach. Obviously, this year we've gotten the best out of Tyrese Maxey. But why I say Doc Rivers is still a weakness, even though he's gotten the best out of some of these players in certain regular season moments, is because even though he is a great regular season coach of getting the best out of players, he also has too many weaknesses that I haven't named yet, like his lineups and rotations. There's no reason why the way DeAndre Jordan has been playing lately, he should be getting significantly more minutes than guys like Paul Reed, who deserve a more chance, younger, more athletic, can have more energy. And honestly, with DeAndre Jordan's age, those guys are probably better than him. Guys like Paul Reed, guys like maybe Charles Bassey, those guys are better than DeAndre Jordan right now. It's a reason why the Lakers and the Nets did not want him. Last year, the Brooklyn Nets had him. They said, "Nah, we're good. We rather roll with Nick Claxton and find a center," which they end up finding Andre Drummond via trade. And then the Lakers said, "All right, we're done with you. We'll rather roll with Dwight Howard, who's old himself." So there's a reason why those teams did that, and the fact that DeAndre Jordan is on the team, he's actually getting playing minutes, is kind of frustrating as a fan because guys like Paul Reed, guys like Charles Bassey, who are more athletic, like I said earlier, and can do a little bit more than him, they deserve minutes, but Doc Rivers just won't give it to him, man. And we'll see what happens. We'll see if he does that. We'll see if Doc Rivers gives those boys a chance. So that's why that he's a weakness. Also with the lineups, not only playing DeAndre Jordan too many minutes in the game, but you got to also put into effect that Doc Rivers also is just inconsistent with what shooter he wants to put in. Shake Milton will get 18 minutes one game, 3 minutes the next. And I know Shake Milton's not the most consistent player, but you can't give him inconsistent minutes. You got to let him find a rhythm. Give Shake Milton or give a guy like Korkmaz consistent minutes, and you see who is the better overall guy for the rotation. It's like it annoys me when one game Korkmaz gets more minutes than Shake Milton, or as of lately, Shake Milton gets significantly more minutes than Korkmaz. or it's like one game, Shake Milton gets 18 minutes, next game he gets 3, and then same with Korkmaz, one game 18 minutes, next minutes he gets 0. Like, you gotta let these guys get consistent minutes. You can't keep swapping out their minutes. And I get it, you're trying to mess with the rotation before the playoffs, but when you got guys like Korkmaz and Shake Milton, you need them in a rhythm before playoffs. And having them sit the whole game one game and then play great minutes the next game is definitely not going to help their confidence. And I believe the part of the struggles with Shake Milton and Furkan Korkmaz is because the inconsistent minutes. And I know people earlier in the season were like, "Man, Korkmaz gets way too much playing time," and maybe that may have been true, but it's not helping him that his minutes are getting stripped one game, but he plays a lot of minutes the next. You got to be consistent with what minutes you're giving to each player, and I don't think that's in Doc Rivers' DNA to be doing that because he hasn't shown that at all with the Sixers. He needs to be consistent with the bench. Another flaw in Doc Rivers' game is that in the playoffs, he runs too much of a wide open rotation, 11 men in the rotation. You don't do that in the playoffs, man. I just think a lot of this goes in part of Doc Rivers' rotation in his lineup. So that's why I think Doc Rivers could be a weakness for us because his rotation and lineups and some of the adjustments he doesn't make. So that's why I believe Doc Rivers could be a weakness for this team, especially come playoff time. He can be a big weakness. But now we talked about all the weaknesses. Let's get to the strengths. Let's get to the things that he's good at. Let's get to some of those things, right? Let's get some of the things that the teams are good at. So the 76ers, their strengths, um, isolation scoring. We have guys, obviously, Joel Embiid could win MVP, could not. We'll see how that goes, averaging almost 30 points a game. Just he can do it all. He can shoot threes. He can create his own shot in the mid range. He can post up. He can drive and finish at the basket. Obviously, the free throws, and we'll talk about that in a second. And then James Harden, as he's not looked like his Houston self, he still can get a bucket at any given moment in the isolation game. When it's one on one, James Harden in his career has shown he can be one of the most gifted and dynamic scorers ever. And sometimes, he hasn't been doing that this year, especially with the Sixers. He's been a little bit up and down. But when he's on, when he's shown that he's on fire with the Sixers, his isolation scoring is one of the best I've seen in a Sixers jersey in a while. So, I mean, isolation scoring is not a problem for the Sixers. Also, too, Tobias Harris, as he's not as great of a scorer or as consistent as Embiid and Harden, here and there you do see possessions where Tobias Harris is one on one and he can get a nice post mid range shot because that's his game when he gets in isolation situations. So isolation scoring is a big strength for the Sixers. You can see it night in and night out when it comes to just one on one and we need to get a bucket real quick. We need to give the guy a ball and just go get a bucket. We have no issue with that. But isolation scoring is not what all matters. And that's why we have some of those weaknesses that I named. But also, too, another strength for the Sixers, creating open shots for others, shot creation. Now, I talked about isolation scoring, but this team can also create open shots for their teammates. You see a guy like George Niang. He's definitely flourished this season with the Sixers before Harden came here and more so after Harden has arrived. George Niang has gotten so many open shots, along with Danny Green getting a lot of open looks in the corner, as well as Matisse Thybulle. Maxey getting a lot of open looks, and he's a guy who can handle the ball. So he can, when Maxey gets open looks, he has a decision to make. He can either shoot it or he can put the ball on the floor and finish at the basket. And that is just so great. I love the Sixers shot creation, how we create for our teammates, how we get other guys open, just off the gravity of our superstars. That is a big, big strength for the Sixers. Another strength for the Sixers is interior defense, and obviously that is led by Joel Embiid. And people, Joel Embiid's a great offensive talent, but when he is locked in defensively, the things Embiid can do in the interior, and I guess it's just an Embiid thing more than a Sixers strength because he controls the interior. Embiid, the things he can do, how he can block people's shots, he can chase down block when he needs to. He can block when they're just coming at him and he's standing in front of the rim. He can just swat it out of here. And I love that out of Joel Embiid. I love that he can do that. and that helps the team dramatically. If you guys got other strengths and weaknesses, if you're a Sixers fan or just NBA fan in general, drop them. And you can talk about your team in the comment section as well. Just drop a comment. And if you enjoyed this video, hit a like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. We're on the road to 1.1 thousand subscribers. I can't wait. We got a lot of content coming with the NFL draft coming up, the start of the baseball season, and the NBA playoffs. So you guys be on the lookout for all of that, man. I appreciate you guys for supporting. If you guys think that I missed out on something, drop it down below in the comment section. But ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to close out the video. You've been talking sports with MG Nas, and until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out. Peace.